Computer. Okay, you can hear me?
I can.
Beautiful. All right. I want to see your face, so we'll just that. Okay. Welcome back to Embrace Midlife. And I am mega excited today to be talking to Natalie Battaglia. Have I said that right?
You said the Aussie way, but I will
Oh,
forgive you because I pronounced it like that for ages. It's actually Battaglia.
oh, I like that. And I actually get her confused with Natalie Bassingthwaighte. So there you go. Anyway, gone right off track already. Natalie is the founder of the mocktail recipe blog, The Mindful Mocktail, and she creates the most sophisticated, luxurious, nourishing, non alcoholic cocktails and encourages readers to explore a life with less alcohol. Referred to as the thought leader in the alcohol free space, Natalie has a passion for making non alcoholic drinks exciting and delicious. Hello, Natalie.
Hello, thank you for the warm welcome.
Pleasure. It's lovely to have you here. I'm looking forward to chatting. But I always like to start the podcast with a fun question, and that is, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Well, I I'm quite boring. I have literally had the same breakfast, I think, for years on end, at least during the week. It's a smoothie that I make every day. It has blueberries, it has yogurt, it has vital proteins, so that the collagen, oats, chia seeds, and something called glow powder from the Beauty Shop, which is meant to
Oh,
skin skin glow, apparently. Does it work? I'm not sure. What do you think?
yeah, you're glowing. You're definitely glowing. Oh, that's of course you make a smoothie because you make the mocktails. It was a silly question, really, wasn't it?
That's right. But also it's quick just to
Oh, yeah.
me to grab. So I make a couple at a time and I just grab them as I'm flying out the door, dropping the boys at school.
Oh, that's such a good idea. So do you make them and then have them for later as well, or
Yeah, I make two at a time and then I pop them in the fridge.
great idea? I love all these ideas from all the different ladies I talk with and their quick tips for breakfast. Anyway, how about you tell us now about a bit about your background and your family and how the Mindful Mocktail started?
Yes, sure. So I live on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, obviously in Australia, with my husband and two boys. So I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old boy, and they are a lot of fun and very, very loud.
That's boys.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I really love it down here. I feel very lucky. We're nice and close to the beach. And we just moved back here about 18 months ago. So I really love living in this area.
Mm.
In terms of how the Mindful Mocktail came to be, I stopped drinking a few years ago. We can go into the whys if you like, but
Mm.
basically
Yep.
alcohol and we didn't agree with each other.
Mm.
I remember doing a quiz on alcohol use disorder and scoring somewhere between the moderate to severe end of alcohol use disorder.
Mm.
So it's been a journey.
Yeah.
It's certainly been a big, so it's been four and a bit years now since I
Wow.
stopped drinking.
Mm.
Um, and I really found that when I stopped drinking, I mean, we're creatures of habit after all.
Mm.
I really missed the ritual of pouring a drink. I missed the ritual of drinking the drink. I missed all of the things. And I was in a sort of an unusual situation because we were actually coming into COVID at that time. So
Wow.
COVID hadn't quite hit our shores yet,
Yeah.
but I stopped drinking in the February before COVID. So it was only about 30 days away, about a month away.
Wow.
And I did it purposefully because I was watching the news, what was happening in the
Mm.
rest of the world in terms of lockdowns and people not being able to go to work and kids not being able to go to school. And I just had this sinking, accurate, turned out, feeling that we were going to have a similar thing happen here.
Yeah.
And I really found, I don't, it sounds like a harsh thing to say, but I think looking back, maybe I had a little bit of postnatal depression, or there was something sort of going on there. So the boys were young then. They were like
Yes.
2 and 4,
Yes.
weren't in school yet. And I found they sort of went in and out of childcare and kinder.
Mm.
I found the days that it was just me home alone with the boys really challenging
Mm.
times. And I found they were the days that I would often drink the most.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, and when we were coming into COVID, I guess I just thought to myself, you know what? We're getting to a stage where every day could look like this.
Mm.
I knew my husband would be working all the way through because we had a business that could like stay open.
Yeah.
And I just thought every day is going to be the boys and I feel like we're in for the long haul. And it turns out I was right. So I made the decision. I thought, you know what, I can't drink my way through COVID. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know what's going to happen to the boys. And I sought help for drinking. And then as I said, I was missing my nightly wine and I had a herb garden at home. I wasn't too impressed with the options on the shelves in terms of non-alcoholic alternatives. I used to drink some non-alcoholic wine, every now and then, but in terms of just regular drinks, I thought, gosh, we've come ahead in leaps and bounds since then.
Totally. Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. But there just wasn't a lot around. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to start. I'd always been like a foodie at heart. And I thought I'm going to start experimenting with flavor pairing with drinks. So I bought myself a flavor pairing book. It's down on the floor here. It's still the flavor pairing book I use to this day. It's like a Bible, literally. Wow. And I just started making syrups and pairing ingredients together and seeing what I could come up with during COVID. And I started sharing the recipes with friends and family. I had some amazing feedback, and my background is actually in SEO, so search optimization. And I thought, gosh, imagine if I could create a website that people could find, because I knew by this stage that there were other people out there like me that didn't want to drink as much or at all. And I thought, there's no mocktail recipe website out there. I wonder if I could be it. I wonder if I could be the person. So I applied what I knew about SEO to a mocktail website. I started an Instagram account and the response was just huge. And the history really.
It just went off, didn't it?
It really did. It was really interesting in the beginning. I would always share not just a recipe, but with every recipe, I'd share a personal story. So something to do with my drinking and why I had stopped drinking, or stories about when I was drinking and things that I'd done or things that had happened to me. And it was interesting, like so many people say, it's never just been about the drinks.
Yeah.
It's about that, like the story, the people who I call them like my true fans, like my biggest fans have been there since the beginning. They know everything about me and they know all about the nitty gritty, the good, the bad and the ugly in terms of what I went through with my drinking. And I really feel like it was those stories that established that initial connection with people and got them to know me. And now I mainly focus on the drinks because, there's all different reasons now. We're getting into it now where once upon a time you stop drinking if you had a problem. These days you stop drinking because it might not be good for you or, whatever it might be. And I find people need to hear less now about the issues that I had with alcohol and want to hear more now about the drinks and how to make them the very best for them.
And I think you're right. There's it's always, I find, and even for me, it's deeper than it's just the drinking, like it's just the escape. I think, like I know for me, there was some depression and what have you. And with the ladies that I coach too, it's, you rip the Band-Aid off and you go deep, and that's what I like to call is where the magic sparkle happens, because that's when you really find yourself. And it's great now that it is talked about more and continues to. So good on you. Do you think the SEO, like how quickly, because you've got over 500,000 followers, how quickly did you get that following? Like, was it an overnight thing, or did a certain post go viral, or yeah?
It follows a really interesting trajectory, I think, that's somewhat reflected in, I guess, the decline of alcohol sales, if I'm being honest, like if you look at statistics. So the account has been live for about 4 years now. In that first year, it grew quickly for its time, don't get me wrong. But after that first 12 months, I think I had around 120,000
Wow.
followers. But then, sorry, in the first 3 years, it grew 120,000 followers. But then in the last 12 months, which is really interesting, it's gone from 120,000 to 580,000.
Wow.
In the last 12 months. And look, I do have a couple of viral posts to thank for that. I do have a couple that just went off.
Yeah.
But even without those, the growth in the last year has been really, really exciting to watch. And that goes across all platforms. You know, I'm on Instagram, but then also Facebook. And obviously I can see the stats of how many people are coming to my website, and just this growth around the non-alcoholic drink space and mocktail in particular. It's just been a great time to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that's just a great indication of how the world's going with sober curiosity. Plus, I mean, your Instagram is beautiful and what you create is amazing. Getting onto creations, have you always been, like you said earlier, you're a foodie, so you've always loved to cook and create in the kitchen?
Yeah, I've always loved cooking, really loved cooking. Admittedly, I loved cooking a lot more before I had the boys, bless their little hearts.
Yeah.
You know what it can be like. Kids can be a little bit fussy, but I remember back in the day, it was like my greatest joy, just spending a couple of hours in the kitchen when I had more time then.
Yeah.
To make something really, really nice. And I was always very, like, I loved not just making it taste great, but making it look great and appetizing as well. So yeah,
Pardon, sorry.
I've always been a foodie.
A foodie. Are you still?
Much to my husband's dismay, my attention has diverted to
Yeah.
I do still love food. I mean, I love food. I prefer people to cook for me now.
Same.
Other way around. But I do feel like I'm in a bit of a stage, to be honest. As I said, the boys are at that age where my youngest especially, he's very fussy, but my oldest, he's really started to come out of that like picky sort of phase, and is now moving into a really exciting phase where he'll try almost anything. And I feel like my youngest, he'll arrive as well, and then I'll be able to get back into getting a bit more creative and making something other than spaghetti bolognese or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I think my cooking days will come back.
Yeah.
Just not yet.
I found when I stopped drinking, because Andy and I were massive foodies, that I just wasn't into it as much. And even Andrew, he stopped drinking purely off his own back, and he used to create all these beautiful things, but we just don't seem to, I don't know, do that anymore. It's really, really funny how things change. Did you used to drink cocktails? Would you make yourself a cocktail when you cooked a meal?
No, interestingly, I mainly drank wine. So wine was my drink of choice, usually red. So it was mainly wine. I would definitely order cocktails when I went out with friends, for sure, but I never used to make cocktails at home.
Yeah. And who does the tasting now, Natalie? Is it you and your hubby, or do the kids?
We do a bit of everyone. If there's no non-alcoholic replicas in there, I let have a sip. So obviously if it's got a non-alcoholic wine or something in it, then they're not allowed to have it. But otherwise it's me tasting. I have my mum spends a couple of days a week here helping me out, so she'll taste them. Damien will taste them. We'll get into it soon, but obviously for the book I had a group of recipe testers who would help me out.
Okay.
Recipe testing for the book. But yeah, the ones that I pop on Instagram and my website, it's basically a family affair.
I love that because well, actually, it went out yesterday, my pod with Andy from Etch, who I know you're good friends with. And I love those stories like she involves her kids and her hubby, and it's around the kitchen table. And those stories are so beautiful. And I think that there's a lot of love in there, and that you can feel it. It's a beautiful thing when you start a small business from your home and involving the whole family. I think it's beautiful.
It's honestly, I agree. I love hearing stories like that. I love Etch's story.
Mm.
Beautiful family. And it's really, I used to worry that it might impact the kids later on, me having a presence online, because you just never know,
Yeah.
what it's like being online. You're just never quite sure how things will go. But it was so beautiful the other day. My 9-year-old came home and he said that they had been doing some sort of project for school, and they had this computer and everyone was allowed to Google their mum's name. Now, whether I was a bit like, oh God. Who knows what you might find, but he was so excited because like no one else's mum had come
As
up
a
in.
presence. Yeah.
And when they Googled my name, there were all these search
You
results.
were everywhere.
And then everyone was saying, your mum's famous. She's a famous cook. And it was just a really cute. I think it was like the first time that he thought, okay, so mum doesn't just make these drinks for us. I
Mm.
think something a bit bigger going on here. So
Mm.
yeah, it's very nice when the family can get
Yeah,
involved.
no, I totally agree. So with your Instagram, and if people listening, if you haven't had a look, go and have a look. Do yourself a favor, as Molly Meldrum used to say, and jump on. It's so beautiful. The colors and what you do. It's a true art. Um, how do you know how to put, say some etch in there with I don't know, explain a couple of cocktails and what the ingredients and how you know to put them all together.
Yeah, sure. Well, I have an interesting like following, I suppose, in that a lot of my following is actually from the States. So about 65% of people are from the States. So what I try and do on Instagram is I look at what's in season
Ah,
around all of the time. So I have a look at what's in season in the States, what's in season here. And I try, if you watch my content closely enough, which not a lot of people do, but it's drinks are sort of somewhat tailored to the season.
season, yeah.
Find that, that works really well. And then, if I share something like at the moment in the US, people are coming into fall, and, if someone from Australia sees that, well, they can just save it for, when autumn comes around here.
Mm.
But what I generally do is I have literally my flavor Bible that I just spoke about. I
Yeah.
have a look at what is in season, and then the flavor Bible will list all the complementary flavors. So, for example, if I want to do something with beetroot,
Mm-hmm.
it might list, 20 to 30 flavors, foods, drinks,
Ah,
whatever it might be, that actually pair well with beetroot. And I use that as a starting foundation for almost every single one of my recipes. And I just find it really gets the creative juices flowing. And
yeah.
then, I might decide, right, I want to do something with beetroot, ginger, and orange, which is a really beautiful combination.
Wow.
And it's just a case of, testing it. As the years have gone on, I have gotten much better at guessing quantities of things, like lime juice is a lot stronger than lemon juice. So you usually use half the lime to what you would for lemon, and the way all the flavors work together.
Yes.
But, it's taken some time. It used to take
Yeah.
me a long time to develop each recipe, but I'm a bit quicker at it now.
So say when you said about the beetroot, ginger, and what was the orange,
Mhm.
so that would sort of be in the Bible that you've got.
Yep.
And then do you get literally beetroot and juice it, or is it the beetroot juice? Or excuse my ignorance because
No,
yeah,
no, it's fine.
tell me
And
how it's done.
It depends. I actually really need a juicer. It is actually crazy that I don't have a proper, like, no, I've got a handheld juicer like everyone
Yeah.
does. I mean a proper juicer. So for something like beetroot, I would usually buy it already juiced, only because I don't
Ah, okay.
juicer.
Yeah.
But I have been in situations before where you can actually make juice without a blender if you really need it. So with something like beetroot, I would just chop up a beetroot, add a touch of water, blend it in the blender, and then squeeze it through a strainer. So, there's ways around things. You certainly can make it work. It just makes things a little bit more
Yeah.
fiddly.
And then you'd add orange juice.
Orange juice, yeah. Uh,
And
yeah.
what's the ginger component? Is that like fresh ginger juiced or?
Yeah, I find that with ginger, if you either grate it, so it's a
Ah,
lot easier to grate when it's frozen, just a
ah,
tip, but I grate it and I'll put it in if it's a drink that's being shaken, which a lot of my drinks are, the grated ginger will go into the shaker and then with the rest of the ingredients. And then I find once it's shaken really well and strained, the ginger really, releases its flavor
yeah, yeah.
through. But again, if people have a juicer at home, they can juice their own ginger. Like
Mm,
juice is just so good for you for so many different reasons.
mm,
So, um,
mm.
people can juice their own. But yeah, it just depends. It's a balance as well because you don't want, like, for example, ginger and beetroot. I don't want people having to chop up beetroot and
Yeah,
blend that and then chop up ginger and blend that. Like it's also a fine art making them easy enough for people to
definitely.
make at home
Yeah,
and also cost effective too.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So I still want to talk about Instagram, and I can see in your background all the lighting, etc.
Yes.
You said your mum helps you, and funny story, side note, you and I were at a speaking gig, and that's how we met, and we found out I've known your mum for many, many years through the local doctor's surgery. So that was so funny. Anyway, she comes and helps, and you've got your lighting there. How long, like if you dedicate, say, one day to just making the mocktails, it must be like I just know myself, it's a huge job. So how long in one day? How many mocktails filmed would you get in one day?
Look, I am lucky. Like a great day is 3.
Yeah,
But generally it's 2, sometimes 1, because I usually have a lot of other stuff going on. And
yeah,
also, I have very short days.
yeah.
I,
Kids.
the boys. So
Yeah,
I sort of have a 5-hour work day. It was a massive shock. I don't think
yeah,
I've ever gotten over it. That
yeah,
my working days went from 8 to 9 hours when they were in childcare down to sort of
yeah.
5.5 hours and trying to fit so much more into that time. So generally, my filming day is on a Monday, and I try and film at least 2 recipes that day, 3 if I can,
Mm.
because there's a lot going on in one video.
Oh,
Obviously, got it's the choosing the ingredients, like finding what's in season, creating the recipe. Then I do use a bit of, actually, you can see it on my wall for
color
those
chart.
watching, but there's a color chart on my wall behind me where color theory comes into play as well, because we all like looking at pretty things. And it's also what is scroll stopping on Instagram, making something
100%. Mm.
visually appealing. So primarily it needs to taste great, but it also needs to look good, for people to stop and pay attention. So, in one video, there's this component of not just recipe testing, but also the artistic thing comes into play. Then there's all the editing.
Mm.
Then it's finding the trending audio, then writing the
Mm.
caption, then looking at the hashtags. Like it's
It's
a quite
massive.
big, yeah. People sort of say to me, "Oh, you should release, multiple recipes a week," but I only
Oh,
post once or twice a week because I just feel like I want them to be quality.
yeah.
So for me, it's a real quality over quantity
Mm.
um, strategy, if that's the right word for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's quality. And I mean, it's all right for some people to say this, and you see, the big accounts, or your account is big, but some people have full videography teams, etc. It's you and your mum, or someone helping you out. It's huge. And I think because it's ingredients and all those different components, that's even harder than sort of me jumping on and explaining something. You've got a lot more going on.
That's right. And also the difference between I guess myself, like as you say, my follower numbers are very healthy, my engagement is very healthy, but you'll find that I think I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but I'm definitely possibly the only mocktail creator in Australia. And one of the reasons for that is Australian creators are not paid by Meta in the same way that US creators are paid. So,
Right.
in the US, people have the money, I suppose, to
Yeah.
invest in production teams and videography teams and everything.
Mm.
Whereas here, so much of what I do is out of love.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm being paid for every recipe that goes up online or anything like that. It's literally like I've had feedback from my community that this is what they want, so this is what I'm going to.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful. What's your favorite mocktail? Do you have an absolute fave go-to, or is it too hard?
Oh, it's so hard. I really love, I made it the other week. It's one of the recipes in the book. It's a cucumber kombucha mojito. So
Ooh.
I know it's so good, and it's got a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it as well. So it's quite cleansing. It's got the probiotics from the kombucha, the crispness of the cucumber. That's probably one of my favorites right now.
Mm.
But there's so many. I mean, I like
Yeah.
anything that has some functional benefits too. So anything, I use tea bases a lot. Yeah, anything that has sort of nutritional components, I really
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. And like everything too, like you were saying, seasonal with the US in the fall and us in spring, it's the same with what you feel like to drink, isn't it? Like you might feel a refreshing mojito in the summer, but in the winter, something different.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I know that there's certain favorite non or zero alcohol drinks that you love, and I recently wrote an article on five that I love. What give us a name of a few of your faves?
Yeah, sure. So I mentioned before I was a wine drinker previously, and it
Mm-hmm.
took a while to get back into non-alcoholic wine because I sort of
Mm.
felt a bit, I don't know what the word is, awkward, naughty, something when I was drinking them early on.
Mm.
But now I'm in a really great place with them, and I love having a non-alcoholic wine. So I really love Gießen. I really
Uh-huh.
love Edenvale. I have such a soft spot for Edenvale because, I'm sure you noticed it too, that they sat there next to the ginger beer for 20 years
Years.
in the supermarket shelves before non-alcoholic wine became a thing.
Mm.
And they've just been the one constant in the non-alcoholic wine space. So I just really love that. And they make a great product too. In terms of spirits, I love Lyres. I think they have just a fantastic range,
Mm.
and they can really elevate any drink.
Mm.
For something functional, I really like Apothecary, which is actually a brand.
Oh, yes. That looks amazing. They keep popping up on my Instagram. Obviously, the algorithm's working. That looks incredible. So tell me a little bit. It's drops, is it?
Yeah, actually, I've got them right here. So yeah, they have a whole range of them, but one of
Yeah.
them is Take the Edge Off, and one of them is Wind Down. And Wind Down is obviously designed to help you wind down at night. It's like a herbal red wine alternative. And
Wow.
Take the Edge Off is a herbal white wine alternative. And they're just tinctures. So you can put them straight onto your tongue, or you can have them with soda water, or you can mix them in a drink. And I've given them to a few friends because I've had little samples of them. And yeah, I find they really work. I
Oh,
really,
I'm going to try that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Can
love
you
them.
buy them through your website?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
it's on the Apothecary website. And as I
Okay.
said, US based, but they
Yeah.
do ship here. So
Yeah. No, I'd
yeah,
like to try that. I love that. So
yeah.
you could put it in your soda water and it'd look like an alcoholic drink anyway. Is that right?
It will change the color slightly. You only put a small amount in though. So, um, yeah, the color once it's dispersed would probably be quite light in
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
But even things like you could make something really easy, like a tart cherry juice is known to increase melatonin and help you wind down at night. So you
Mhm.
could put some of the wine down in with a little bit of tart cherry juice. I made a mocktail actually using apothecary, and we used wine down, tart cherry, and chilled chamomile tea. And it was
Mm.
beautiful. And the three ingredients combined are all designed to help you have a more restful
Please.
night's sleep.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
when
there's
you
very much you can do.
when you mention the tea, do you do the fresh leaves and the water, or do you do tea bags? What do you do?
It just depends on the tea that I'm using. So I find that chamomile tea generally is pretty good even in tea bags.
A bag, yeah.
Chamomile, I'll just literally make the tea as if you would in a mug,
Hmm.
but in the fridge to chill it if I
Mm.
make a chilled version. Sometimes for drinks, I find using a double, like two tea bags instead of one is better because once you mix tea
Yeah,
ingredients, it can dilute it quite a bit.
yeah.
So yeah, but then there's other sorts of teas, things like I'll use lavender every now and then,
Mm.
butterfly pea tea, which is that gorgeous blue tea that makes things go all blue and
Oh,
purple.
it all sounds so pretty.
It is, it is. And I use fresh leaves with things like that.
Gorgeous.
The great thing with tea, though, is that it's so cost effective. I mean,
Mm.
buy even just on Amazon or in the local supermarket, you've got access to so many different teas,
Mm.
and it lasts ages. Like
Forever. Yeah.
a cost-effective
Yeah.
ingredient.
No,
Well,
that's good.
mm.
So there's that. Well, when this podcast is out, it's very close or it's already happened. You are launching a beautiful book.
Yes, I am.
So tell us about the book. What's it called?
Yes. Okay. Well, the book is called The Mindful Mocktail.
Very nice.
And I created each recipe when I say with, so I consulted with a nutritionist on each
Mhm.
recipe. So the goal, basically, the feedback that I've had over the years is that people don't want to cut alcohol out or reduce their intake and then have a drink that's filled with sugar and other nasties.
Yes.
So the main feedback that I've had is that people want drinks that are lower in sugar,
Yep.
not simple syrups and things like that. People want recipes with easily accessible ingredients. So
Yeah.
things you can buy, as I said, on Amazon or in your local grocery store, and you don't have to go searching for. But, they still want them to taste great.
Yeah.
And so I basically used all of that feedback to create a book. And each recipe has been run by a dietitian. There's actually a couple nutritionist, sorry. There's actually a couple that I created in conjunction with a doctor of nutrition over in the United States, which is,
Oh, wow.
her name's Brooke Scheller. She's fantastic. And they're really designed with health in mind. So of course there is sugar in them because, fruit juices and things do have
Mm.
sugar, but there's not all of the refined sugar that you find
Mm.
a lot in mocktails and cocktails.
Mm.
And yeah, each of them is, they're better for you than the standard mocktails. So designed to sort of nourish you from the inside out, but are still nice and easy to make too.
Yeah, lovely. So how long has it taken you to make the book from start to finish?
That's such a good question. No. So I signed the contract. By the time the book will have landed on the shelves in December,
Yep.
it would have been 2 years since I signed the contract. So it's such a process.
Big job.
Really, really big job. And it's 95% brand new recipes. So I haven't just taken all my recipes off my website and put them into a book. They're brand new. You've never seen them before. So it's real value for money as well.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Exclusive recipes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I put my heart and soul into it. And as I said, it's been through quite the process with creating all the new recipes. They went through rounds of recipe testing with my recipe testers, and then they were either tweaked or canned, depending on what the
Right.
was, so I think I started with like over 200 recipes, and we've condensed it down to just over 60, and they're the very best of the best.
Oh, and what I love is you have taken the time, you've been patient, the time and the care and the love, because I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but to throw a mocktail, book together without consulting with dietitians and taste testers, etc., you've really gone that extra mile, which is, quality.
Thank you. Yes, it's been definitely put together with a lot of love, a lot of thought, and really just based, as I said, just based on feedback of what
Yeah,
people have said. This is what we want in a book.
yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
did you have to employ recipe testers? Like, how did that work? Taste testers or?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yes. And they'll be getting a free free copy of the book.
Because I know, like, when I went to France, there's no, I think they're called nosemen, and they just literally, when creating perfumes, they choose the scent, the fragrance to mix together. So yeah, a professional mocktail taste tester.
Yeah. Well, I did. Look, the great thing about my recipes is that you don't need to be any sort of like mixologist or home bartender or anything to make them. So I chose one of the recipe testers, she won't mind me saying, is actually Andy from Etch Sparkling.
Ah,
Because she does get it. Like
yeah,
she
totally.
she gets the flavor pairing. She's worked in the food and wine
Yeah.
industry for decades. She's got that great palate. She's very picky. If she's listening,
Yes.
she's very picky, but in a very good way, because it made the recipes the very best they can be.
Yeah.
And then my other two were people who've been following me from the beginning and
Right.
been tagging me in recipes for I can't even tell you how long.
Yeah.
And I knew that they would just be great, great people to test the recipes. So it's exciting.
It is, and it's the perfect time because it will be Christmas. And I mean, a lot of people do overindulge or use it as an excuse to drink and drink all these beautiful non-alcoholic drinks. And for someone to give that book to someone, a beautiful gift, or to have in your own home and create these beautiful looking and tasting drinks that are also healthy for Christmas. How divine. Perfect.
I know. There's a whole Christmas chapter in there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like it's also just a really great gift. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
totally.
about you, but when I have a pregnant friend or someone who there's so many reasons these days why people don't drink. It could be
Yeah.
medication, whatever it might be. And sometimes, it's hard to stray from that old bottle of wine, bottle of spirits, for
Mm.
Christmas or whatever it might be. So I feel like this is a really nice book to wrap and put under the tree.
Yeah, gorgeous. What's a Christmas? Give us a quick Christmas one.
Let me think. There is a Christmas punch,
Yep.
actually. So with a few of the Christmas recipes, because Christmas recipes are traditionally they have more sugar, they're a little
Yeah.
bit more indulgent. So what I've done with a few of them is I've done a naughty and nice version.
I love it.
That's like a bit higher in sugar, a bit more indulgent, and then there's a nice version that offers like healthy sort of
Bit
creative
cleaner.
for each of the recipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my Christmas punch is probably my favorite out of that chapter, I'd say.
Oh, I
Yeah.
look forward to getting this book. So, Natalie, can you tell everyone how and where they can get the book?
Yes, definitely. If you Google the Mindful Mocktail book, you
Yeah.
will find it, and then you can pretty much just buy it where suits you.
Yeah.
Alternatively, on my website, there's a
Yeah.
link right at the top of my website where that'll take you to the pre-order page or the purchase page by the
Mhm.
time the podcast launches. And yeah, or there's also a link in the bio of my Instagram. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Easy. And I'll put it in the show notes too. So,
perfect.
thanks for the chat. I just want to finish up with a fun question now, because that's what life's about, fun. Um, what three people, dead or alive, would you like to sit down to dinner with, and why?
Okay, so I know that you just said that this is a fun question, and now I feel bad because I feel
No,
like,
don't, because a lot of people say family.
okay, good.
It's up to you.
I feel like I'm going to end on a very personal
Oh,
note. But I promise there's good reason behind it. So I would sit down to dinner. The three people I would choose would be my mum, my dad, and my twin sister. My twin sister passed away when I was 20 years old.
Oh,
And she and I were, I mean, we were like besties,
yeah,
right? If
yeah,
I could ever imagine sitting down with anyone,
yeah.
it would be the four of us being back together again. So
Oh.
I don't want to end it on a sad note.
No, no,
Just
that's beautiful.
completely transparent. That's
That's
who I would
beautiful.
be with.
Yeah, yeah. Well, on that note, I hope you have a beautiful Christmas. I wish you all the very, very best with the book. I know you'll smash it. It's just beautiful. And I look forward to reading about you being a New York Times bestseller. And don't forget us little people when you're on with Oprah. Um, and yeah, thanks so much for your time, Natalie, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much.
Ooh, stop.